going to get guns. Like, if you're going to want to do it, you'll find some illegal way to do it. You'll go out of the country, out of the state, go to a gun show, find somebody who modded out their AK-47 to where it's full auto now. But there was a period of time where AK-47s were completely illegal and banned, and then that bill passed. Nobody said anything about it, and now you can buy them at Walmart. They're not full auto, but you can make them full auto. I think that there's, like, we can take cue from France and how they necessarily kind of structure their gun laws. I don't think that taking away people's rights to bear arms, or however you want to say it, is necessarily fair. But at the same time, there needs to be some sort of type of restriction to where somebody who went to juvenile hall when they were like, or juvenile detention center when they were 12, got out when they were 22, but didn't get put with the felony because they were kids. Now he's 26 and he can go out and go to Walmart and buy a handgun. That's a problem.
Why is that a problem when, if he did his time and now he's 26, and from 22 to 26 he broke no laws?
No, I'm saying from like 12 to, let's say he goes in at 12 and hurts somebody and ends up spending like till he's like 21, 22 in jail, but that's how he avoided getting the felony. That guy should still be red flagged when purchasing a gun. And you're talking about somebody who was raised in and I'm not saying that's a reflection of everybody who goes through that system, but at the same time, like, show me somebody who's been in like a mock prison system for the better part of 9 years, and I'm going to show you somebody that I want to have to go through a checklist to go purchase a firearm or purchase a high-powered rifle whenever they live in like Detroit or live somewhere where there's not hunting.
Well, you know now that there is a 3-day waiting period here in Texas, and you have to go through a federal background check. And
but not if you go to a gun show.
Yes, you do.
Yes,
you do now at a gun show?
You've had to for like the past 20 years.
Yeah.
No, I thought there was gun show loophole. You can go there and buy a handgun.
That's the left media.
Completely just go through.
They want to close a gun. They want to close a loophole, saying that that's the reason why we have a gun culture that we have. But none of the mass shootings in the United States have resulted because of a gun loophole.
No, exactly, but at the same time, those people were able to go, like, all right, so like Columbine, those guys purchased some of those guns as minors at a gun show and had somebody else buy them for them.
No, somebody else bought them for them. But here's the deal.
They were present.
Those were actually stolen from their parents, though. That's
not all. Up until they walked in that school and pulled the trigger, though. What did they do?
I mean, I guess.
What would have been a red flag?
Well, I mean, what they were doing, that's a whole other. That's parenting on that point. So for those kids, like that's not a reflection.
But what I'm saying is,
if you have a repeat,
the only way a sensible gun law would work in the minds of these anti-gun folks is if somehow you can find some legislation that can tell the future.
Yeah, here's the
because up until someone breaks the law, they're not lawbreakers.
True, but if somebody already has broken the law, it should be more difficult for them to get a gun.
And it is.
And that's if it's like a theft.
And it is already. But the shootings that we've had in the United States, the high-profile ones, Adam Lanza.
Yeah.
Went to a gun store to buy a gun, couldn't do it. Why?
They told him no.
Failed the background check. Because he had mental illness.
Because he was crazy.
Yeah.
In order to get his guns to do what he did, he had to shoot his mother in the face. Now, before all the anti-gunners out there want to throw more laws at it, if the law that says you can't murder somebody isn't enough, no other law piled on top of that is going to keep that guy from murdering. It's like, well, if I shoot my mom in the face, it'll just be murder. But God dang it, the legislation came along and says that if I use a handgun, then I have to do this and 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 have to do this, and now I just won't do it. That's never going to happen.
Well, see, I guess I agree and disagree. I just think that with the way that the gun laws are structured now, they could definitely be better. We could take not like the whole page, but take note of how things are in certain places and just make it more difficult for people who shouldn't have guns. Like, there's some people that, like, show me a dude who's gotten like 3 convictions,
but they
dropped on like robbery, but
they don't now. If you have a felony,
well, if you have a felony, but let's say you've been charged 2 times for misdemeanor assault, you should have to like take like not even like CHL just to buy a gun.
They will not give you a
gun class.
They won't. If you have any sort of
background, it's not a felony. If it's not a felony, you can still go through it.
If it's not a felony, if you have an assault period, they will not give you a gun.
I'm saying even if it's been dropped, even if it's been dropped,
They won't
even if
flag
it's
it.
been dropped, even if it's like a pending convicting
Well,
something
if
that
it's
got
dropped, it means they didn't do it.
But well, if it that's not always true. That's
I mean,
not
yeah.
always
Or if
true.
it gets dropped, or if it gets
do
dropped.
things. People do things. I have friends that get
But see, now-
DWIs and get them drunk.
But here's the
and
deal.
they're black out
But here's the deal. Here's
two
what-
girls are raised. You
But
have
here's
enough
the-
money.
Let me ask you this. Here's the scenario. Let's say you have an Iraq war veteran who gets angry sometimes. Never did anything to break the law. Background in law enforcement. Raised 2 kids. Has an arsenal. Lives within 100 yards of 2 schools. Would you take his guns?
No, because I think that let's say like you
No,
can't,
but
you can't retroactively enforce rules. So just I'm saying that.
But
you can
what
start
I'm
a new
saying
page
is,
now.
okay, so you start a new page now, and you'd write a law so somebody fitting that scenario would not be able to own
Yeah, I
it.
would just say that like any guns that were purchased retroactively that are registered or acquired amongst legal means are yours and yours to keep, and that's it. It's the same thing like whenever they banned the AK-47.
But that person
If you
couldn't
owned
buy
an
any
AK
more.
If you owned an AK,
But that person, by law,
it is.
since he has that background, a violent background, combat vet,
No,
police
but
officer.
I wouldn't say that's not a violent background. That's more of like
Combat's pretty violent.
Well, combat's pretty violent, but you were fighting for a cause.
PTSD,
You were
right?
fighting for your country, so that's totally separate. Like
And he's a guy's a grump. He's
That'd
always
be-
angry.
that'd be like taking guns from
Maybe has some anti-government stuff going on.
Well, but that's
just
fine.
speech hasn't done anything. Just talks about it.
And so you've done everything, and that's all within your rights. So I can't retroactively take your guns from you.
Okay, but moving forward, you could. What law would you write to prevent that?
I wouldn't stop anybody from getting any gun. I would just there'd just be specific guidelines you had to go through to qualify to have it. It's like you can buy a tank if you have a license and you're able to buy a tank. You know, like I don't think that we can stop people from doing it. If bad guys want to get guns, they're gonna get guns, and that's just gonna happen.
So, but for this person that I'm talking about, in the example that I'm using, you would make him go through additional.
No. I mean, if you wanted to buy like a Bushmaster with a grenade launcher after this law was in place, then yeah, there should be.
So you should. So
There should. I mean, I wouldn't keep you from
so then
having it, but you should.
because
Like,
the person
apply
I
something.
described, it's me.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't-
I've never broken a law in my life.
And like they shouldn't be able to retroactively take your guns either.
That beer.
But you'd be for me preventing me from getting more guns.
Well, I mean, if you were like, I want to go buy, I wouldn't stop you. But if you're like, I want an M60, I'd be like, okay, apply here, sign here, dot here, do this. We'll do a check. All right, you're good. That's all I'm saying.
Well, they do
here's
that
the-
now.
Yeah, here's the whole deal. Let's say you go and buy an M60.
All right,
and
we're going to
you
carry this
can't
conversation
get by
after the
this.
break. I'm Mike Allen. This is the Armed Radio Global Network, and you're on the air.
Night Talk with Joe Rocks. 10 p.m. Eastern, Thursdays is now on Ustream TV. Spreaker for replays and live. On Live 365 exclusively on Armed Radio Global.
Is your wife wicked hot? Or is she just cold? Do you just want to take a hot shower? Call Savino Mechanical for all your heating, hot water, and cooling needs. Savino Mechanical has been servicing Greater Boston and Southern New Hampshire for over a quarter century. Quality 24-hour service, reasonable rates, satisfaction guaranteed, licensed and insured. And remember, at Savino Mechanical, we are not comfortable until you are. Call Savino Mechanical today at 1-855-624-4280. That's 1-855-624-4280. Savino Mechanical.
Route 106 Motors is the home of fine pre-owned vehicles. Experience a no-pressure sale with a family-friendly atmosphere. Route 106 Motors has been practicing the same simple philosophy of low prices for over a decade, and it has brought us great success. Recently, while other dealers are closing their doors, Route 106 Motors is expanding. We are a wholesale dealer, and we own the property and pay cash for all the vehicles. This allows us to sell to the consumer for a lot less than the average dealership. We are a high-volume, small-profit dealer, and we pass the savings on to you. New changes have been made at Route 106 Motors. Stop by and check out our brand-new building. Route 106 Motors, located at 569 West Street. Check our website at Route106Motors.com and be sure to like us on Facebook to find out about all the latest deals and savings opportunities. Route106Motors.com.
Attention World of Tank gamers. Armed and its affiliated divisions are recruiting entire clans and tankers. Armed, the largest and most progressive gaming community on the World of Tanks gaming platform. Now on 3 servers. To join, visit www.armedtanks.net or hashtag #NeedAToaster. Toast that, bitches.
Hi! Now I know you hear Joe Rocks on their weekly restaurant reviews on Night Talk, 10 p.m. Eastern. And boy, these two like to eat. Right, boys? Well, here's something to review right from your house. Eat24. That's right, Eat24.com. With over 25,000 restaurants for you to choose from when you're hungry. Many in your area. So review that, boys. Eat24.com. Click, order, and eat. Eat24.com.
Hi, Tom here from Spot On with Lino and Tom. Tune in for some topical discussion and laugh therapy with Lino and me. I'll be covering my favorites like weird news of the week and what I'm liking on Netflix, the next best gadget, and whatever else comes to mind.
We both have our own interests. I love recording on the latest movies being filmed here in Boston, checking out new musical talent, and just talking to people.
We'll also be featuring segments such as on-the-spot interviews where Lynn and I venture out and ask questions of our listening public.
That's my favorite part. Besides hanging out with my buddy Tom. Now that's the icing on the cake. And cake, I love talking about cake. We love talking about everything. So tune in Monday nights from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern, right here at Armed Radio Global.
Armed Radio Global presents its new 2015 Talk at Night lineup.
Mondays 8 p.m. Eastern. Spot On with Lino and Tom. Straight Talk with Matt Hazley. Mondays and Fridays 10 p.m. Eastern. On Tuesdays, Talk Time with Val 8 p.m. Eastern, followed by High Five at 10 p.m. Eastern with Johnny and Mikey. Wednesdays on the air with Mike Allen 10 p.m. EST, and Thursdays Night Talk with Joe Rocks 10 p.m. Eastern.
Join the talk now on Ustream TV. Replays on Spreaker. Exclusively on Armed Radio Global.
I can get you sleep.
Hi, welcome back to the show. We're streaming online on Ustream.com, even though the thing is off. You can see us and what we look like.
Yeah. Hey guys. Those are shameful.
And no, Danny will not. It's cold, so Danny will not be in a bikini tonight.
We look sexy though.
We do look sexy.
Look at these beards. Look at these beards. I've just been like admiring
we
myself
do look good.
while I touch it.
Look absolutely fantastic. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Eat24.com. Go to the iPhone App Store or the Android App Store. Get your download, Eat24.com, for free. And you can put in your zip code, and they will find a restaurant near you that will deliver food to where you are at. It's Eat24.com, proud sponsor of Armed Radio Global. Tonight's phone number, 1-866-225-5401. Give us a call, courtesy of Ring Central. Also, you can tweet us at Armed Radio 1, hashtag that man boy, Armed Radio. If you'd like to weigh in on tonight's topic, we were talking about guns. And I just want to remind everybody that in 2 weeks we will have the Coalition to End Gun Violence representatives on this show for the second hour, and I'm going to give them an entire 2 segments. I'm going to ask them some questions, and they're going to talk about their stance on guns in America, and then we'll open it up to your phone calls. That's going to be in 2 weeks. In 1 week, confirmed.
Yes.
Returning to the show for their encore performance, Team Lonnie of StopMasturbationNow.org.
I do what I won't.
Go to Stop Masturbation now on Facebook. Let them know that you're excited about them coming on the show. It's going to be a great show. It was a great show